Going to be a lot of parades rolling in the next month, and we are joined by Children's Hospital Pediatric Nurse Practitioner Sheira Neely with some tips on making sure the whole family stays safe while enjoying all the fun. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, I'm sure there are a lot of experienced Mardi Gras moms out there, but we can all use a few refreshers. So what are some of the most important things we can remember while we're out on the parade routes this year?
Yeah, so my number one tip is as soon as you get to the parade route, get a visual landmark for the whole family. If anybody gets separated, just say like, this is where we meet.
Good idea, yeah.
Yeah, with your younger kids, just make sure you have your contact information on them, whether it's writing your phone number on their arm or putting a piece of paper with your name, phone number in their shoe. I make these little bracelets for my kids and it just has the phone number on them.
Cute.
Just so if they get lost, they know this is my phone number. You know, we usually recommend, you know, they want to find a police officer or a law enforcement person to help if they get lost. So make sure they know what they look like, where to find them.
Absolutely. And that's especially important with the little kids. You would think that you're going to be holding them on your hip the whole time, but if you let them down to go get a snack or something, they could get lost in the shuffle. So just make sure that you've always got eyes on them and that you have those backup protections like the bracelets, or just take a Sharpie and write it on their
Just write it on their arm.
if you need to. Okay, anything else that we can be thinking of? Obviously, if they get lost is a concern, but if they're with you, there are still some hazards when you've got giant floats rolling down the parade route.
Yeah, so just be cautious. Let them know, like, you know, if something falls on the ground, we don't want them darting in the street. We don't want anyone to get run over. You know, even with marching bands, you don't want them to get trampled. So just making sure you keep, you know, safe distance from the actual parade route. And then even with, you know, ladders, you know, make sure your ladders are up, they're on a sturdy, stable flooring, and then always have an adult supervising.
And I know it's a controversial thing with the ladders, but I'm a huge proponent of setting those ladders back. Like farther, just out of courtesy to your fellow Mardi Gras goers, but also because if, God forbid, those ladders tip forward, if the kids are excited about a throw or something like that, it's so dangerous to have them right there on the curb.
Yeah, they say like lay the ladder down and from the curb, pick it up to where if it does fall over, it doesn't fall into the street where the floats are rolling. You know, and those littles that are sitting in the seats, you know, make sure there's a strap. There's some type of buckle to keep them in the seat. You don't want them to, you know, slip under the bottom and have them fall out.
Yeah, because a lot of times there's little kids sitting up there. Those are some great tips as well. As far as, you know, like food and things like that, I know that when we're at home, you know, we cut up the grapes and we're taking all those precautions to make sure the kids aren't eating any choking hazards. Is there anything you can do out on the parade route to kind of make sure the kids aren't getting into anything they're not supposed to, like beads?
Yeah, so I mean, I usually say always have, you know, pack a cooler with, you know, healthy snacks so where they can always just grab something healthy. It's dried fruit or, you know, pouches of yogurt and applesauce, cheese sticks, things like that. And then, you know, just make sure, you know, the bouncy balls, you know, just make sure, like, you know, teach them we don't put those in our mouth and, you know, little beads, things like that.
A lot of it's the prep work as parents before you even go out on the route. We, you know, like you mentioned earlier, we're often talking to our kids if a ball bounces into the street, if beads get thrown into the street, nothing is worth reaching into the street for. And then, you know, also not putting, you know, certain things in your mouth. Just all the prep work beforehand, parents. You can start this. It's just good information anyway.
Yeah, and just to educate them, you know, let them know ahead of time. You know, and another safety thing is, you know, when they're to help, you know, prevent from getting hurt, when they're, you know, waving at the floats where, you know, the beads are coming, make sure their hands are in front of their face. You know, tell them, hands up front of your face to protect them, protect your head, your nose, your eyes, everything. You know, instead of this, here.
I know. Well, I need to teach my kids that because every year somebody gets whacked in the face, and I just feel like the worst mom. Coddling your kid, you know, on the neutral ground because they just got whacked in the face with beads has got to be a universal Mardi Gras mom experience. But maybe we can prevent it by putting the hands in front. That's a good idea. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you joining us this morning.